Hey guys, it's Marissa and thank you for clicking on another one of my videos. Today is going to be a little story time. I feel like every way I try to say this, it still sounds really dramatic, but basically I almost didn't go to Western. Hopefully you guys can learn something from this little story. I just kind of wanted to talk about my experience with choosing a university when I was in grade 12, particularly from the lens of someone not from Ontario. Of course, this is applicable to those of you who are in Ontario anyways, but yeah, here I go. So when I was in grade 12, I obviously applied to a bunch of different schools. I applied to Queen's, Mac, and Western in Ontario, and then I went and applied to UBC and UVic. I ended up getting into every school but UVic, so I really had a lot of options. I got into all the schools I wanted to here in Ontario, and I knew I wanted to go away for school. I had like very differing opinions on Mac, Queen's, and Western. I went touring in February, I believe. I think I actually came and visited Western or Mac during reading week, so it was quiet. I went to Queen's first. If you haven't already watched my touring Western University's videos, definitely watch that one because you can see all this in live action vlog version. I went to Queen's first, pretty much exactly what I expected it to be. It was really pretty, but it also felt really small. The buildings were just a lot older, and at this point I already kind of knew I didn't want to go to Queen's, so it was kind of just a confirmation to me that Queen's is not the school for me for differing reasons. I kind of talk about it more in the video, but Queen's is just not it for me. It was very quickly not in the picture even before that trip. And then I went to McMaster next, and when I went to McMaster, it was reading week or the weekend in the middle of midterm, so it was really quiet. When I went, the vibes were really weird, like right off the bat. The layout of the school was one thing that I didn't really like. It's just a long rectangle, which is not like the worst thing. Like Western is basically a long rectangle, it's just not as rectangular. Queen to me was like just a square, but that felt weird. There's like a couple like new buildings, a new res is being built, like by no fault of the tour guide. It was just very like, this is this and this is that, and they weren't really like selling the school very much. The tour guide was not as friendly as they were at Queen's and later at Western. I didn't know that at the time, but I actually got into health sciences at Mac a couple months later, so that would have been if I had ended up liking Mac and found out I gotten in, I would 100% be a Mac right now, basically the gist of the story. But I just hated the vibes at Mac. Yeah, the new res was being built, but the old one was like not it at all. I hated it. It was like an old building. The like common room was one of the smallest things I've ever seen. It looked so sad. There was just no one on campus. It didn't feel like a friendly environment. The vibe just felt like it was only school all the time, and I know that's probably not true, but to me that's all it felt like. And after coming out of like a stressful grade 12 year and like honestly a stressful high school and elementary school, I was just like, I need like an environment where I can have fun and also do well academically. Yes, like Mac is a fantastic school, but because I felt like everyone was only focused on school and no one cared about the fun stuff, that the element of competition and hyper focusing on your grades in school would still be there like it was in high school. I had a strong feeling that Mac was not it. I said it already, but not welcoming, not like a nice living environment, didn't feel like a good social environment. The like student center was like weird to me. It was a weird layout and there was like random things going on, and it was quiet and no one was there, and it was just off. Like instantly gave me bad vibes. I just felt like I was gonna have no life if I was at Mac. And that is something I had never heard of from anyone else before I went there. I knew a bunch of people who really liked the idea of Mac, said that the program was really good, and it's a really good program to guide you into getting into med school. And obviously the program is a really good program, but like it was just not it at all. I don't know how to explain how terrible it felt to me, like it just was not it. I guess one of the lessons that you can pull out of this is the importance of going to see your prospective universities if you have the means to. Of course, that's not always something that is in the picture for everyone, but watching touring videos or reading up on Reddit about people's experiences can also help. Not everything is about the program. It's also like the balance that you want to have, the life that you see yourself living. I didn't see myself living in Hamilton either. It was like a big city but not, and the layout of the city felt really off. It wasn't really where I saw myself living at all. And so if you have the means, visit, do your research on student life as well as programs. That one's an obvious one, is to do research on the program, but to do research on the social life and everything. Mac really did not feel good, so I really was hoping that Western would be it. Maybe that's also why I felt so attracted to it, because maybe there was something about I really don't want to be at Mac. And also maybe that I had already gotten into the programs I wanted to be in at Western. Instantly, as soon as I got to Western, it felt completely different. Way more inviting, there was way more people. It felt livelier. Also like going around London and going to like seeing where everything was in comparison to the university and what they had in London, what they have in London, was way more appealing to me. The size of the city, obvious talk about Western social life. I felt instantly that my life would not be just school if I was here, and that completely changed my view. Everyone was telling me to go to Mac if I got in, and so if I hadn't gone and I had gotten in those couple weeks later, I think my life would be so much worse, and my depression would probably be miserable. And that's my opinion on it. Obviously, other people have such good experiences at Mac, so I'm not telling you not to go to Mac or not to go to a program that's better than another. I would just say do your research, and if you can, visit or do something as close to visiting as you can, as in watching a YouTube video of someone touring, talking to someone who goes to school there, calling someone from your town that goes to school there. It actually pains me just to visualize my life if I was at Mac. I think I would just be depressed and anxious and not motivated and uninspired. Mac felt so dry. Like it was just concrete Mac to me. But Western had like way more to offer. I love it here. Take from that what you will. The story's not unique. I think a lot of people felt like this too, and like a lot of people I know made last minute decisions to come here and ended up loving it. Same with every other school, but it really depends on you, what you want to see out of your life in university and what you value moving out of high school. So think about that and see which school, program, as well as social life and city can check off for you on that list of things that you want. This video feels very dramatic, so I'm gonna end it by showing you my yerba. If you guys know what yerba mate is, you should find out. It's like such a West Coast thing of me. Like, anyways, whatever. We all know I'm from Vancouver. Yerba mate, look at it. There used to be 8, and now there's 4. The best flavor is Enlightenment. If you go to Western, I don't even know if I should be telling you this because I really don't want it to go out of stock. You can buy at the UCC grocery store. I got those for like 2 for $4, but I think they're $2.50 regularly. They're freaking amazing. They're really sugary, but they're really good, and it's caffeine. It's basically just iced tea with caffeine. It's yummo. Anyways, this was really dramatic, and I hope you enjoyed how dramatic it was. And oh, anyways, bye.